Boom, and we are live with another episode of the Brownwater Banter Podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
That's right. We got a great show for you this evening, man. While we sweat to death in the studio, we got Zachary Grady. He's running for District 115 for the House Representative of Mississippi, and going into a runoff. So we're going to jump into that conversation, get to know him a little bit. We still got a few more political things to do before November. Joey's back in his political saddle over there.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But before we do that, we're going to thank the people who keep the lights on for us over here in the Brownwater Studios. If you're looking for a great local dentist, look no further than Southern Magnolia Smiles. They're on the socials at Southern Magnolia Smiles, Facebook and Instagram. They're located right here in Ocean Springs on Washington Avenue. This is Dr. Robbie Williams and his team that he's put together. 2023, I keep saying it, is the year to keep your mouth clean. We've only got a few months left. So when you're ready to book that appointment, just give them a call at 228-215-1202 and tell them that Brownwater sent you. Taylor & Cox Law Firm. They've been practicing law over in Pascagoula for 30 years. They come highly recommended from the community, the people that we've talked to. And now that we've gotten to know Tyler, we can vouch for him. So if you're looking for legal representation for any reason, they do specialize in criminal law, family law, and civil litigation defense. You can give them a call at 228-696-0111. And we'd also like to thank Taylor & Cox Law Firm for sponsoring the Brownwater Banter app for the rest of the year. So you'll see Tyler's face there whenever you click on any of our on-demand stuff inside of the app. If you haven't downloaded the app, go do it now. Thank you. Sea to Swamp, our buddy Rocky Brooks. He's got 2 locations now, Gaucher and Gulfport. If you want to look him up on Facebook, it's C2 and then Swamp. You can give them a call at his Gaucher location at 228-205-3964. They specialize in tackle and apparel, man. If you need rods, reels, reel repair done, any type of boating gear, tackle, everything for a day outside, Rocky's got you covered. So go check him out. He's a local shop, and we appreciate his support. Kendrick over at Forever Young Men's Wellness. You can look him up on Facebook as well. If you find yourself lethargic, you can't get off the couch, you've been wanting to get back into the gym, maybe the sex drive ain't what it used to be, go check out Forever Young and let Kendrick run some lab work on you and see if he can optimize you to your peak potential. Maybe you need some vitamin replacement or possibly even hormone replacement, but put it in the hands of a medical professional. That's Kendrick over at Forever Young. You can give him a call and book that first consultation appointment by calling 228-363-6623. And like he mentioned when he was on the show, you can bring your lady friend with you as well because he does treat women.
You might as well.
Might as well. You don't want to get ahead of her. We got Randy Bosarge, recently reelected as District 5 Supervisor in Jackson County. Randy decided he wanted to stay on board as a sponsor for the rest of the year, so we appreciate that. And just know that he's got Jackson County's District 5 under control. If you want to go back and look at the episode that we did with Randy, go check that one out. It was very informative, learning about the different things that Jackson County has to offer, and in the future for economics to housing development to contracts with big government with big businesses for the port over there in Pascagoula. It was very, very interesting conversation we had. So go check that out. So I think that wraps it up for the sponsors. So we'll jump in here. We were just talking before we went live. It's been a minute since you've been in the studio, right? We've done two studio jumps since then. Is that correct?
Yeah. He was in the OG.
Yeah. Well, no, the OG was in Biloxi.
Oh, yeah. So you forgot about that one. We like to move stuff around a lot. We like to get comfortable with the roots growing, grass growing under our feet.
Right.
It's nice here, and congratulations. I can really tell y'all are growing, and y'all's viewership, it's pretty awesome. It's exciting.
Yeah. We stick with it, put a lot of time and a lot of work into it, but we feel the momentum, a little bit moving, and people starting to.
I can see it for sure.
Yeah, well, good. That's good for us to hear because you put things out there you don't know sometimes. You kind of watch it from the back end on the analytics, but it's good to hear people in the community say that. So last time you were in here, we were talking a different race. This is now House of Representatives for Mississippi, District 115. Let's talk about it. What made you decide to do that?
Well, the last time I was in here, we were running for city council, and I don't mind talking about that because I feel like that, along with, all of my community involvement in my adult life, has kind of catapulted me to where I am today.
Yeah.
And, I finished up my MBA when I was at the police department. I had left the PD for some other opportunity. My wife and I started our own business, things like that. Took the opportunity to run for office back then.
Mm-hmm.
We fell a little short. but it was a great race. And I think
good learning experience, I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people saw, the race we ran, how positive it was. A lot of people learned about Zach Grady that maybe didn't know about him before.
Yeah, exposure for sure.
Yeah, and people told me back then, they said, Zach, we think you're going to do some awesome things. We know you love your community. Just be waiting for the phone to ring.
Right.
And it was funny. It was kind of a running joke for a long time. Like, been waiting for my phone to ring, And I actually started a new career with Coca-Cola United as an account manager, doing really well there. Okay. And I'm in a meeting one day and
phone ring.
My phone rings. And, I talked to several people throughout the community leaders, business leaders, just centers of influence within Biloxi and D'Iberville. And they were all telling me, hey, look, Randall Patterson's retiring. He's been there for 20 years.
Yep.
And we want to support you to be the next state representative, for District 115.
Yeah.
It was such an honor to be receiving these phone calls. But at the same time, it's something that, me and my wife have to sit down and talk about.
Big
and decide.
Commitment. Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
State representative is, the first 3 or 4 months out of the year, you're living in Jackson, Monday through Friday. I've got 2 young children. I like to coach ball, do all of these things. So my wife and I sat down and we discussed it for a little while. We prayed about it. And, she ultimately said, how can we teach our kids to chase their dreams and make the world a better place, if we're not willing to make the sacrifices we have to do it. And, with the support that I had behind me, with the heart that I have to serve the community, we decided to jump in it, as a family.
I like that, man. Going back to what you said, like coming up short on the previous campaign, that made me think of that saying. It's like a loss is never a failure unless you give up or quit or don't learn from it. Yeah. And I was thinking that the whole time you were talking about it. I mean, came up short in that, but gives you the opportunity to be experienced in a campaign and then now run for this, which has got to be, state representative. I mean, that's big time.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's it's definitely a lot larger district.
Right.
You're fighting for different things. As a city council representative, I would be looking on how to spend the money that our representatives are getting us from Jackson. What projects we're going to spend it on, different things like that. And now I have the opportunity to be the representative that's going to be fighting for those funds. To come back down to our district. To build the infrastructure that we need down here, to do those special projects, to bring in more tourism, to do all of those things that we really need. And, I catch myself a lot talking about family, but in all reality, this is all about family to me. When I was younger, grew up in a single parent household. My mama worked like 2 and 3 jobs to support me. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather, and my grandfather and my grandmother, they owned and operated the Biloxi D'Iberville Press for almost 30 years, Shannon and Bob Stein. And I was connected to my grandfather's hip. I mean, I remember going to all the local elections. He started the Chamber of Commerce, in St. Martin D'Iberville area. And I was always with him, and he kind of taught me, the love for my community and just being involved and trying to make it a better place. And so it's all about family to me. And I believe as a representative, fighting for those funds, making those decisions in Jackson to build a better place for our children and our grandchildren. It's all about quality of life for our families.
Yeah. 115, tell us your boundaries. Where are you? Where's your district at?
So it's everything in D'Iberville south of the interstate.
Okay.
And then it's Biloxi from the Biloxi Ocean Springs Bridge down to Veterans Avenue. And then it goes north to the bay, and it kind of cuts off a little bit. It comes around, and Jim Money is kind of the furthest west line. But it don't come all the way down to 90 right there.
Okay.
And then if you're going down Brody Road in D'Iberville, you cross over into Biloxi. You've got those neighborhoods south of Brody Road. It goes all the way down to Wells Drive, where AJ Holloway Sports Complex is. You turn south there, and then it cuts off. I believe it's Savannah Estates, just next to Bay Cove. Right there's the line, and then that line shoots across the bay south.
So pretty big chunk. Pretty big chunk of change you're working with now.
Yeah, I was looking at it today when I was creating the live event or whatever, but you don't go past the interstate north.
I do not.
Yeah, because I was thinking that you was my district, but he's not.
Yeah,
I think we're 114 where Joey and I live. We're just north of the interstate on Tucker Road.
Yes,
Latimer
if y'all
area.
are in the Jackson County area,
we are.
So 116 is just past the interstate in D'Iberville, Biloxi.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, we're further east,
okay,
right?
Gotcha.
So I'm pretty sure we're the Latimer area. I think we're 114.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
so pretty diverse group of people too. Like you got all kinds of people.
Absolutely, and I tell you, that's been the most exciting part of this election. Honestly, this campaigning process is there is such a large, diverse group of people in District 115, and we've been inside every community, and I've developed so many new relationships with community leaders that I never knew before. I mean, it's been a really exciting time. It has. The people that I've got to meet. I mean, 7 months I have not had an evening off or a weekend off.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man. It's beating doors, boots on the ground. It gets tiring sometimes, but I was always raised that nothing good comes easy, and you get out of something what you put into it. So
what do you feel like? You feel like you got a leg up against your old self, versus the first time campaign? Is there some tactics or something that you realized from the first time around that like now you're like, okay,
maybe a little bit?
Yeah.
It's really the same thing to a certain degree. Obviously, you're always a little bit better the
right?
second time.
Yeah, no matter what you're talking about. Yeah.
The first time, literally, I didn't know much. I just jumped in. A lot of naivety there, not really knowing. And this time there was, I guess I knew what needed to be done.
Right.
And I believe that elections like this, even though this is on a larger scale than my last one, are one at the door, and how important it is to knock on people's doors, look them in the eye, shake their hand, and ask for their vote. And that's what I think myself and my team have done really well. This campaign has been a successful campaign so far. We captured 47% of the vote, a couple Tuesdays ago, and my opponent only had 38% of the vote. That came in second place.
Yeah.
Y'all had a third person there too, didn't y'all?
We did, and he captured 18% of the
vote.
I
was trying to do the math. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
38 for
yeah, they got to have a third person.
Yeah.
But honestly, like the team that I have in place is the reason we were so successful. I can't tell you how many times, I got a full-time job. I'm working minimum of 50 hours a week. Last week I put in 70 hours at work. And I've got a team that I'm at work and my group text is going off and they're going, hey, we're going to this street. We're going to this street. We're going to knock on these doors. Now, obviously I catch up with them as soon as I can.
Right.
But I've got friends and family and people that are new family now that just believe in me. And it's such a humbling experience. And I don't even know how to say thank you big enough.
Right.
Honestly. People sacrificing their time, which I think is the most valuable thing we have.
100%.
Money, energy, and they're investing all their evenings and weekends into me. It's just, it's pretty awesome. It's humbling, and I don't know how to thank them enough.
Yeah. I hear you. What, 30, 40. So what's it like going into the runoff? I mean, that's the whole, it's like 2 hurdles instead of 1, right?
Yeah. So going into the primary, we all had our fingers crossed. I mean, we were praying, every night that we were maybe going to be able to win it all that Tuesday.
It's close at 47.
Yeah, 47. We need 51.
Yeah. Well, not even 51. It's 50% plus 1 vote. 51
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we were hoping that we were going to be successful like that. And we were dreading, another 3 more weeks because I don't think people understand, I mean, how much effort and energy and work this is.
Yeah.
I've been telling people if politicians work half as hard as they do to get in office, once they get there, they'd be doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. I've read articles about that with like presidential, whatever campaign. It's like they spend more time trying to get elected than they actually do. I mean, really, just by the way the math breaks down.
Well, it's everybody who's come in here who's ran for something is like, look, I don't care if I win at this point. I'm just ready for it to be over with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But being so successful on the 8th, having such a large lead that night, it was kind of hard to be disappointed. Everybody was excited. Everybody was energized. It was a really fun night. And my fear was people were going to kind of lay down. They were going to be like, well, Zach's so far ahead, we don't have to work as hard. And it's been the exact opposite. My team is more energized than they've ever been. I've got more boots on the ground than I did the previous 6 months. I mean, it's been pretty awesome.
What are you running on, right? So if people that haven't heard about you from maybe they didn't vote in the first go at it, they're going to go out and vote now after they hear this podcast. Let them know, like, what's your platform? What do you want to tackle when you get in office?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. First and foremost, I think it's very important for us to have a strong conservative voice in Jackson. We're a red state. Republicans are the majority in House leadership. And I knew months ago that in order to be effective in Jackson, you had to have the relationships in place up at the Capitol so you could have a seat at the table and you could have a voice at the table for your district. So I started building them relationships, a long time ago. I speak with several members of our Coast delegation regularly. I've developed, friendships with them. And I learn from them, ask them questions because I want to be ready on day one, minute one to get to work. I've met with Speaker Gunn in Jackson. I've traveled to Jackson several times. Our new incoming Speaker of the House, because Speaker Gunn's retiring, is Jason White. He's our Speaker Pro Tem right now. And Jason's a phenomenal guy. I've developed a great relationship with him.
Right.
I actually have support from the House Leadership Fund, which is his PAC. And they've been helping, with different things, mailers and things like that that's been sent out to the district. And I think it's important to have that in place. And I think it's exciting to see the House leadership having so much of an interest in this race because it gives District 115 such an opportunity once I get to Jackson to be able to fight for them, But as far as things that I want to do, again, like I was telling y'all earlier, it's all about family. It's all about creating a better quality of life for our family, our children, and our grandchildren. Infrastructure is a huge issue down here. I don't know if y'all have driven down to the east end of Howard Avenue lately.
Yeah,
but it looks like
Baghdad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Hurricane Katrina hit yesterday. It looks like,
Right.
And that's why we have to have a seat at the table so we can fight for those infrastructure dollars that are in Jackson. And every single infrastructure dollar that we can get, we send it back down here so we don't have those issues. Y'all have been here y'all's whole life. How long have we needed a new Pops Ferry Bridge?
Yeah.
You know?
It breaks about every 6 months.
Yeah.
I
got to put it back together again.
Now, Representative Felsher has been spearheading a way to get the funding to repair that bridge or build a new bridge. And I've been speaking to him regularly, and I'm ready to work with him on that because the biggest thing is that's a city-owned bridge. So it's hard to get the funding that you need to replace it. And it's going to cost about $230 million, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so what we need to do is they got to, Kevin Felsher's been working on a project to extend that Pops Ferry Road down to the highway so we connect it to Highway 90 and we can get the proper funding that we need to build a new bridge. Because right now we can barely get the funds to repair it. It's costing, I had the numbers at one time, $15,000, $20,000 just to make the repairs to keep it operational.
Yeah, and then they were talking about, that was in the news, a year or so ago, doing a toll bridge option for that. And I know a lot of people didn't like that at all.
I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, it was on. I don't know how serious it was, but it was enough to be reported on. And I just remember thinking that sounds like a terrible idea. But money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, with the way Biloxi and D'Iberville's growing, that's a bottleneck. You know what I'm saying? That bridge is tiny compared to what the traffic that goes over.
I remember when I first started driving, going over that bridge, it was like so nervous, trying to get over it.
But what year was it built? I bet. You think about that, like probably the 70s.
Before us.
Yeah. I wish there was some way we could get another way to go in and out from the interstate to Ocean Springs instead of just Washington Avenue.
Yeah.
Well, in Biloxi and D'Iberville, I can tell you in District 115, another big thing is east-west corridor. How crazy is Highway 90 when we have our events come down here? It's gridlock.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't really have another east-west corridor to kind of alleviate that pressure from Highway 90.
Other than the interstate, and there's only, like I said, it goes back to there's only a few ways to
get
there.
How you get out there.
So there's a lot of things. One big discussion in Biloxi is Tideland funding.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of issues with Tideland, and I understand the issues in Biloxi. They put about 85% of the money into Tidelands, somewhere between 80 and 85%, and it's roughly $10 to $12 million a year. And Biloxi's getting pennies back from all the money that they're putting in it. But years ago, when Senator Galat, was at the forefront of getting gaming down here, those were the deals made up in Jackson in order for us to have gaming. And we're so focused on getting a bigger piece of that 10 or 12 million, which I understand that need. I mean, when you're paying in 8.5 and maybe getting about 1 or 2 million back, it's kind of like, what's going on. But
right.
I'm always looking at a big picture. And the other thing is we don't have control of our waterfront in Biloxi. There's so many different litigations and lawsuits going on, which when business comes in, they see all of that, and it brings a level of uncertainty to business. And, business hates uncertainty. So I want to, be a part of being able to have a little bit more control of that waterfront, because if we bring in another casino, let's say, for example, if we can get that development, how many more 1,000 jobs does that create in District 115 on the coast? How much more tax dollars, tax revenue is that going to be? How much more money is that going to add to the Tideland Fund? That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at, that I think we could, create a better economy.
Where are you talking about specifically for potential new casino site?
The old Margaritaville is going to something, right? Is that in your district?
It is. Yeah. It is. I don't think it's going to gaming.
No, it's not. It's going to be like the wharf over in Orange Beach.
Well, that's still money, right?
Yeah, and jobs, and that's a 15 million. It was listed for sale for 15 million. I don't know what they actually paid for it, but of a property that's sitting there that's generating no jobs and no tax revenue.
Yeah.
Well, property tax.
Yeah,
not.
Well, I just think that there's so much opportunity. South Mississippi, or I guess the Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast, is the number 5 gaming market in the nation. I mean, I was pretty amazed when I learned that. I thought that was pretty cool. And District 115 is literally the heart of the number 5 gaming market in the nation. I mean, we have the most casinos in that district than any other district on the coast. We're the number 1 tourism in the state. There's so many things we can work on a state level. Like, for example, the Bonnie Carey Spillway.
Yeah.
We have to fight to make sure that doesn't open up again. I mean, that kills our tourism, that kills marine resources. They talk about the oyster beds in Pass Christian used to produce thousands and thousands of sacks of oysters a year. And I mean, it's down to hardly any.
Yep. Yeah, we talked to Lieutenant Governor about that ongoing litigation with that whole situation. And it sounds like it's still a chance that there may be some retribution. I don't know if that's the right word, that we can claim back from that incident, whether it's financial or prevention, like you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, we have to fight as hard as we can and not let that open up again.
Yeah.
We just do. It kills so much for us down here. That's our economy. That's our livelihood. We have to protect our marine resources. It's, we got to remember where we came from. I mean, that's where we live. We live on the coast.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a big project going on underneath D'Iberville Bridge. That boat launch is getting redone.
It is.
What do you think about restaurants or something like that coming towards D'Iberville? That's always been my thing. Biloxi's always got somewhere where you can pull in, hang out on a boat. D'Iberville's got that whole back bay and nothing back there yet.
I mean, I'm always excited about business development.
Yeah.
That brings growth to our economy. If we're not growing, we're stagnating. I've got a great relationship with several, with the mayor and council in D'Iberville. I've got great relationships with, people in Biloxi. As a state representative, what we're going to do is we're going to fight for those dollars and get them down here.
Yeah.
What D'Iberville decides they want to do as far as special projects and infrastructure is going to be, within their municipality, what their decisions are. But I'm excited to work with them and do things like that. I've talked to the mayor and council. I thought it would be cool to have a strip in D'Iberville, kind of like downtown OS, just to see that growth and everything. But it's all about quality of life to me, and we got to focus on the people that live here as well, and I want to make sure that we're building up, to just be better, honestly.
Yeah. I think when Jimmy was on here last time, he mentioned a little bit, talked to us a little bit about like insurance, obviously is a huge deal down here on the Gulf Coast, from, hurricanes to the flood problem.
And that's been on, like, I've been watching a couple of these live feeds and stuff like that, and just about every question on there is, what can we do about insurance?
Right.
What can we do about insurance?
The reason I asked that is because I was going to say, what have you heard from the people as you campaign? What has been their request, or here's what I think you should focus on, it made me think of that.
Yeah. Well, insurance is definitely something that's been talked about, especially living on that peninsula in Biloxi.
Yeah.
Insurance costs are through the roof. And I mean, it's really putting people in a position where they're having to maybe try to find another place to live when this is the house they've pretty much lived in since they were a child. You know?
And you talk about it's looking like Hurricane Katrina was just yesterday. That has a lot to do with it.
It does. It does. And again, this is something that I've already spoke with a lot of our coast delegation about, and they're already in the works to try to get other insurance providers here to where it'll be more of a competitive market,
right.
and hopefully we can get those lower prices. But that's something that it's not going overlooked. I mean, our House leadership is very well aware of it. And our coast delegation, they've already been working hard. And these are the things, when I talk about quality of life, this is it, right here. This is what's going to affect people directly at home in their pocketbook,
right?
And that's the reason why we have to have someone who has those relationships in place in Jackson, who can have a seat at the table and work with the insurance commissioner and everybody that they have to take these burdens off of our families here.
Yeah. Have you heard anything else that we haven't mentioned from people, as you say, knocking on doors, boots on the ground?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talk about city issues, streets and street lights and speeding and crime and different things like that. And what's kind of cool about that is, with my background in law enforcement, I was in police officer for 10 years, a decade. I have those relationships at Biloxi Police Department with Chief Miller, and, Diablo Police Department with Chief Nobles. And I feel confident that I'll be able to pick up the phone at any point in time and call them if I have somebody call me with some issues, and try to, help that, even on a more local level. But insurance, infrastructure, I'm
sure your phones would ring off the hook down there in Biloxi. Them roads are they're on another level down there.
Yeah. And that's one of the big things. It's kind of like I've been hearing a lot about lack of experience. Well, let's look at the way that the east end of Biloxi looks right now. Why hasn't that been fixed already? Why hasn't that been a priority? And you're right, it's been years, and Biloxi does deserve better. They do deserve better than that. They deserve representation where somebody's going to go fight to make sure you don't have to have a 4-wheel drive to pull into your driveway.
A tank. It looks like you're going to hit a tank.
Yeah. You talked earlier about the conversation with your wife and having to be in Jackson. How does that? I've always wondered that. How do you manage that? The first 3 months.
Look, honey, I'm leaving for 3 months.
Well, yeah, well, with the wife as well, but even with the job, like, your job's got to be supportive of that too, right?
No, I actually the job that I have now, I'll be resigning from.
Okay.
Once I take office.
Okay.
They wanted to keep me. They tried the best they could to create a position to keep me on board, but it's just kind of hard to work with a legislative
schedule.
About
3 to 4 months. You said that it's Monday through Friday.
The first year of a new term, we'd be going into right now, of a 4-year term,
correct,
is 4 months, from what I understand.
Okay.
And I would leave home Monday morning, drive up to Jackson, and then leave Jackson sometime Friday and drive back home.
Ooh.
But Jackson's not that far from the coast either.
I'd
say about three, depending on traffic. And so I feel confident that if I needed to get home for something during the week,
you could,
I could, and then drive back in the morning.
Yeah, that's a big commitment, man. You got to really want to do it.
You got to have a good team.
You got to have a supportive family and the right mindset.
That's one question I get a lot. People are like, why do you want to do this? And being in law enforcement, I got that question a lot too. And I tell people all the time, it's just like being an officer. People go, why would you want to do that job these days? Well, in all reality, if we don't have good people willing to stand up and make the sacrifice and do these types of positions, where are we going to end up?
Yeah. Going from one carrying a gun to a more powerful weapon, a pen.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So what do y'all got anything? Tell us when the election is?
Yeah, we might want to mention that.
So it's a week from tomorrow, August 29th.
August 29th.
Polls open 7 to 7. One big thing right now is the voter turnout was so low.
It's unbelievable
on August 8th.
It
makes no sense to me.
That really bothers
and we've been hounded on it every week for like months just to get out there. We don't care who you vote for, just vote. Go out there and vote.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? But It's tough.
I thought about a candidate should run on a platform, like especially at the federal level, of just like, because senators term limits is a big topic right now. People are even talking about like an age limit, like you can't be over a certain age, because everybody in the presidential election is like 80 something years old or whatever. And I would be like, it'd probably be terrible, you never get elected, but like you should run on a campaign of like, I would blame the American people, right? I'd be like, it's your fault. You know what I mean?
Because you don't vote.
Get out and vote.
Yeah.
Just get them out. Show up to the damn poll. People literally died. They have that right.
Constitutional right.
Get out and do it.
Well, for our presidential elections, we typically do see a lot bigger turnout.
Correct.
Correct. People want to come out and vote for president. But what I think a lot of people don't understand, these local and state elections is going to affect you way more than that presidential election.
Yes.
There's a lot more money pumped into advertising and pushing people to the polls, for those big national elections. But, one thing I wanted to mention, absentee voting is up right now.
It's funny. Kitty just put that in the thing.
Oh, did she?
8 days left and you can do absentee voting.
Yeah. So look, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, you go down to the courthouse where you get your tag at, it takes 5 minutes, go in, exercise your right to vote. Next Saturday, 8 to 12. Go cast your ballot. There's several reasons that gives you an opportunity to absentee vote. If you're going to be at work that day, it just says if you're going to be out of the county that day, several things that you can do to where you don't have to worry about getting to the polls that Tuesday from 7 to 7. So
what's that ballot look like? Have you seen it? Have you seen the
how many runoffs? Yeah, how many runoffs are? Do you know?
One.
You're the only one?
Voting on one.
I'm the only one in Harrison County. I don't know about Jackson County. But in District 115, when you go to vote, there's only going to be 2 names.
That's it. The whole ballot. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But again, that's a problem. Runoffs historically, you see a lot less turnout.
Way less.
And people coming to the polls for this election, for this runoff election, they're not coming to vote in the sheriff's race or in the lieutenant governor's race and then kind of getting to this box and going, well, whose name did I? Yeah, exactly. When they come to the polls, they already know who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
It's one race, it's one election. So, I encourage people, please get out and vote. Of course, I'm humbly asking for your vote if you do get out and vote, but just get out and exercise that right. Like you mentioned, I mean, people died to give you this right.
Yeah.
What have you heard any kickback from the new way, the ballots, the paper ballots? Have you heard anything from that since the first election?
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I didn't know that was. I was okay with it. I just didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
I know it was a little slower when I walked in. It was because
the
lady had to get my ID and go and then find it, and I had to go instead of be going, here's a card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if it's getting rid of the quirkiness, I guess it'll work.
Right. I'm willing to wait in line a little bit longer if it can help us, tidy things up.
I can tell you the polls I was at on Tuesday the 8th. I mean, there wasn't a line ever at any of the polls I was at. Yeah, I mean, people walked right in and voted. I think we had less than a 15% voter turnout, less than 20%, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, mine where I voted, it was 6 people deep. I mean, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. I can just remember standing in line for 2 hours. Going to vote for the president the last couple times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then that like equally inspires and pisses me off at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I guess you're doing it, but you
could get here on the other days.
Yeah, you can do the other ones too.
But I wonder if that keeps people away too, because they remember, well, the last time I went and voted, I had to wait in line for 2 hours.
Right. But the thing for me is like, again, not to get on a soapbox, but like people died for your ability to do that, and the system only works if you work the system, right? If you vote.
That's right.
I mean, there's countries where people would love to have that ability, right? Like I'm sure Afghanistan would love to be able to vote right now. The women would love to be able to vote right now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all about just reaching people. I can't tell you how many people I talked to, especially I think the heat had something to do with it. I mean, y'all got to admit it's been hottest than we can remember for a while.
Devil's arms.
I had noticed.
Yeah. But I talked to a lot of elderly people since we've been back out on the streets knocking on doors, and they told me, they said it was just so hot.
And I think historically they're your biggest. they vote the most.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe they need to exercise those absentee votes.
Yeah,
the AC.
Exactly. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Drive down to the courthouse. You're in and out. You're in the AC voting. I mean,
just right. Too hot for degrees. Too hot.
Well, you out of the county? No, I was here, but it was
No,
102
too
degrees
hot.
outside.
Too hot. Had to get out of that.
Yeah, but I hope to see, a lot better voter turnout. I mean, I know runoffs typically that isn't the case, but I hope people come out to vote. That's exciting to see that, especially our young generation.
Yeah.
You see them less and less.
Right. That goes back to the same thing. It's like, it's your fault. That would be my campaign slogan. It's your fault.
Yeah.
To the American voter. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Because it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, just get out there and vote. Vote them out. Vote all of them out.
Yep.
It's simple. It just takes a pen or a computer touchscreen, whatever it is you're going to do. Get them out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I definitely encourage people to go out. When we knock on doors, we tell people, hey, do you need a ride?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we can provide a ride for you? And we're not, of course we're asking them for their vote, but we'll pick them up and take them to vote. And, they're going to vote for whoever they want to at that point.
Correct. Correct.
But, we're offering rides, on our campaign. We'll come by and pick you up. We've got volunteers that we'll take you to the polls.
On election day, just say, if you're voting for my opponent, I'll come get you tomorrow.
Yeah. This bus for tomorrow.
You're for tomorrow. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Well, y'all got any events planned between now and then, or is it pretty much full steam ahead?
Yeah, we do coming up Friday and Saturday. Let me look exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. We're doing snowballs.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we've got the pavilion in D'Iberville and Biloxi. We're doing one Friday night and one Saturday. So Friday, August 25th, we're going to be at the Biloxi Lighthouse Park Pavilion from 5 to 7. And we've got some snowball trucks out there, and we want you to bring the family out and come get some snowballs, and meet the candidate. And then the following Saturday, the 26th, we're going to be at the pavilion down by D'Iberville Civic Center. And we're going to do the same thing down there. So just a way to get people come out, give the family something to do, and just meet as many people as we can.
I'm trying to look. You said, so it's the 21st as we record this, but the
25th and
today, I'm saying it's the 21st, and then the election will be the 29th.
Correct.
Tuesday the 29th.
So this coming Friday and Saturday, we're going to do that. And we're about to start pushing that. We've got some flyers we're about to start pushing out, hopefully get people to come out. And it'll be, free snowballs and just hang out and meet the candidate. So
yeah, polls open all till 7 that day, I'm guessing?
7 to 7.
7 to 7.
Yeah.
All right. I'm putting right now in the comments. Oops. I hit the wrong
code.
button.
Yeah,
I hit the wrong button. Let's see. Nope. And this one. So in the comments below, I just dropped links to your Facebook page. Is that where you would say that you're digitally, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or
Absolutely.
see what you're about?
I have a website too, votegrady.com.
Okay.
And it's got my bio and everything on it. And also my contact information, my personal phone number's out there for anybody to call me. We've had several people, message the campaign account or our website, and they ask for signs or they want to volunteer to help, different things like that. So, if you want to help, you want to come out,
you want to still doing signs as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the way up to the last day.
Yeah, we'll put them out on election day if you want us to.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, I spammed.
And that's where you're most active on, is either one of those pages?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook we're really active on. We've got a great social media presence. We're pumping out a lot of material. There'll be mailers coming out to people's mailboxes, different things like that. So, but our social media presence is really good. I'd say that's where we'll probably respond the quickest.
Yeah.
Through Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, it's in the comments below. I accidentally spammed myself. I tried to put your website on there and it didn't transfer right. But if you go to his Facebook page, it's on there. Yeah. The link to your website is on the Facebook page.
That's right.
Yeah. You can find it all there. Well, man, we appreciate it. The commitment for the election is Joey and I have learned, like, from talking, not from experience, but it's a lot.
Grind.
It's a lot. And then to hear you say it, like, getting in, that just begins the sacrifice.
That's right.
And the commitment.
That's right.
You got 4 years of putting in work.
Yeah, I do.
Answering that phone.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
I
really
for sure.
Like I said, it's something my grandpa taught me a long time ago. And, it's been so amazing through this whole process to see that people that knew my grandfather and then
Mhm.
they meet me and they're like, oh, you're Bob Stein's grandson. You know, it's kind of like relationships he made,
Right.
you know, 30, 40 years ago, you know, are still here today.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty cool.
Well, we appreciate you coming in here. We, you know, I love talking politics and stuff like this. But for what we do with the outdoors too, we want to be able to have a line of communication to guys like you who are up there when we have an issue like the Mississippi Gulf Fishing Banks dealing with artificial reefs and stuff. We'd love to be able to give you a ring and say, hey, what's, you know, what committee does this, who do we need to talk to? Are you the guy? Can you put it into the guy?
So we want to catch 20 snapper.
Well, not necessarily that.
I mean, we do. We
but
know that's not it.
Right. We also are conservation.
No, absolutely. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
But that's part of it. So,
Yeah.
And it seems like there's I've been impressed with everybody that we've talked to on all campaigns. So I think, you know, the local stuff's in good hands. So,
yeah, for sure.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
If you do make it to win the next round, you got to come back on and talk to us.
God willing.
And let us know how, you know, what that experience is
for
like.
sure. I'd love to come give y'all like a legislative report, kind of tell y'all what's going on in Jackson.
That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I'm excited.
Yeah, not just during the election time.
No, for sure. I want to come back. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I know Jimmy really well. We've kind of developed a friendship, you know, throughout all of this. So maybe me and Jimmy both come on here.
That would be great.
That would be great.
I said it before too, because I think I told the lieutenant governor this. There's a lot of times there's a disconnect between what is happening in Jackson and what gets disseminated to the public. It's usually only the bad shit that they hear about.
Yeah.
There are good things going on.
There's a lot of good things,
you know, and you never hear about it.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd love to.
Okay, cool, man.
We'll do
it. Thanks everybody for watching on the live and on the replays, and everybody in the podcast world. There's links to all his stuff in the comments below and in the show notes on the audio.
Tuesday the 29th. Tuesday 29th, 7 to 7.
Yep. Get out there and do your thing.
Yep.